Okay, I think that should be live. And YouTube says so. Perfect. Okay. Hello to everybody tuning in tonight. It's Tuesday night. The tradition is back on. The HOBO Racing Division, but this time it is under a new banner, American Online Racing, a group looking to keep the HOBO Racing tradition alive. A great group of guys that is really doing some awesome stuff with getting a new server going, getting some new automation for exports and calling penalties, calling cautions. The full insight of that we will, of course, find out on as tonight and this season plays out. We will be bringing you guys all 39 races of this season. That is the plan, give or take one or two, depending on obviously extenuating circumstances. But as of right now, all 39 races is the plan. I am super excited to be back here. And just before we get into anything else, I was saying it last year, I'll say it again, that I am so grateful to everyone at AOR for bringing me back on again. Keith McLean, Steve Grant, Jeff Trowbridge, and all of the admins over here for entrusting me with this role once again. And it's going to be another great season, and I'm so excited to be able to bring it to each and every one of you that is tuning in tonight and every Tuesday night going forward. But that is, of course, the long-term plan. The short-term plan tonight is 70 laps at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing, the home of the Daytona 500, which took place obviously just 2 days ago in real life. And a spoiler alert, if you wish to watch the Daytona 500 later, but congrats to Tyler Reddick on the win there. And joining me tonight, though, hoping to have a good group of different folks joining me in the booth for these races. Tonight, it is a good friend of mine for a long time here in NR2003, Mr. Johnny Fibrosis, Blake Warren. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Andrew. I am looking forward to tonight's race. Certainly has been a while since I've called a race with you and for the HOBO division, for that matter. We're here at Daytona. Speed Weeks has started. Let's have a great race tonight and see who can come out on top.
Let's have some fun. 70 laps, multiple pit stops. We're going to be seeing at least 3 pit stops in this race. With the caution, or with the fuel window falling at about 19 to 20 laps. But the good news is fuel strategy shouldn't come into play, unlike in certain races. But yeah, this is going to be a great time. We're going to be seeing a lot of different things, just given a lot of the automation that these guys are trying, and exactly how that works out. A lot of familiar faces from last season, a couple of new ones, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same group. And we'll see if the cream will rise to the top once again, or if maybe we'll see some new faces this season. Of course, the reigning champion and the final champion in the HOBO Racing League era, being our man Mac Daddy Keith McLean. Got a lot of returning faces such as Herman Reese, Jeff Fugate, Ken Hansen, Eddie Rayleigh, Duke Sorensen, Jeff Stakanis, you name it, they're probably here. Monty Keller, KJ, we're just about to get to qualifying, so we'll get to the starting order as soon as that is complete. But at least wanted to get things started here, and yeah, just kind of be able to get into it here as qualifying has now officially commenced. It is open setup. So these guys are going to be running anything that they want. They can tune the car throughout the race. And, of course, with these cup physics, Blake, I don't know how much open setup super speedway racing experience you have, but I do know that obviously the more out of control you are, the faster you tend to be at these super speedways, and that includes stuff like the camber being off so that you're all twitchy, but at the same time it's faster. So for you, where do you feel like you tend to lean towards when it comes to speed versus handling at a place like this?
Well, to me, in how long I've been running races and everything, I prefer a racetrack that just has an even blend, more or less, of being able to get, like, you can be able to run the inside line, you can be able to run the middle, you can run the outside, and it feels just about as smooth and equal to one another. Um, Anything in regards to wind direction or setup kind of comes down to a little bit on the aerodynamics and everything like that. But the biggest thing is just certainly what helps. And also, I did run some laps on the racetrack. This track is actually fairly smooth. It's not like the old bumpy Daytona that originally came out with the game and some other versions of it. So while you certainly have to account for caster and camber and spring rate, to me, so long as the car isn't bottoming out or having the nose dig down into the racetrack, or hitting those bumps, which, like I said, don't exist on this version, so long as I can be able to keep a strong handle on things, I'd rather just be able to finish and be able to keep the tires underneath me versus having to compensate with a lot of travel for the caster or camber, or uh, having to deal with a lot of stuff that maybe during the middle of the race I can't even touch. All you can be able to touch on these cars during your pit stops are your tape, your track bar, and your wedge. And not all of those things are things that you can be able to fix necessarily if your setup is not correct off the get-go.
Wants for handling to play a part in this thing, and even though, yeah, as you said, this is a smooth version of Daytona. This is Daytona TR, pretty much the regular version that Hobo has always run. The caveat with this version is that the inside lane tends to have just a little less grip, and what that will usually cause is the inside lane to push up a little bit. So you gotta give it a little bit more wheel. Sometimes maybe blip the throttle just a little. So if we see these guys go down to like single file at any point, which is of course also possible if you're just trying to run some laps, you'll probably see them running about a groove higher. We've seen that in the past. That does tend to be the general trend with this particular version of Daytona, as well as a lot of versions of Talladega. Makes it very multi-groove. You can get some big runs on the middle and the outside lane, but of course with the bottom lane still being smooth and the shortest way around, you can definitely get some multi-groove racing going, and that's what makes these races so much fun, and why I think this is going to be a very, very competitive showing from everyone here tonight. Of course, as I said, with a lot of the automation that is taking place, as far as the game kind of calling penalties and getting everyone lined up. I mean, the game even automatically is now programmed to automatically call who's coming out of the pits, which is incredible to me. And we're going to be able to see that in full detail throughout, not just tonight, but throughout the season. Tonight's going to, of course, be the first true test for a lot of this stuff. The cars are hopping on track now for happy hour. And I will go ahead and mention the top 5 qualifiers here. We've got Herman Reese on pole. That's a familiar name there. He's driving the 59 tonight. Randy Smith will be to his outside in row number 1. Randy back in the 10. Steve Grant, Mr. Consistency, last year is starting in 3rd alongside Jeff Stakanis. And Ray Dog, Eddie Rayleigh, starting P5. Troy Donahue, and a new face that we'll be seeing. He's driving the number 40. That is Gary Morin. Duke Sorensen, Why the King, and Charlie Trusty round out the top 10. Greg Stenzo in 11th. Steve Rubino is racing tonight. So representing the Rubino clan is the 07. Ricky Bumbelow, Jeff Fugate, Lonnie Keller, Mac Daddy, Keith McLean back in 16th. Jeff Trowbridge and Ryan Johnson. Jeff Brightigan is the last driver to have taken a lap time. He will start 19th. Also starting tonight will be our man KJ, Julian Wilson, and Ken Hansen, making it a 21-car field here at Daytona. Enough cars that this could get pretty spicy. One note that I will mention, we are needing to run the original core. I did try, we did try adjusting something in it so that cars don't disappear on the screen, but to my understanding, that could still happen. So if we see cars appear and disappear, that might not necessarily be lag. That might just be the core INI doing its thing, which is a little bit annoying, but what can you do? We're going to have fun. It's going to be a great race. We're going to have a bunch of guys representing the Four Horsemen out here, and they're all running the same dadgum paint scheme, which is going to drive me nuts. But I think that we're going to be in for a very, very fun night, a very, very fun season. And yeah, Dan Rubino in chat is ready. Again, we have got to send a shout out though to the Rubinos and what they had done for 21 years of running the HOBO Racing League. So I think a well-deserved, I guess you could say, retirement from the ownership and the adminship for the Rubinos. But hey, now we've got a group of guys that are keeping this deal going, keeping it dedicated. Same mod, a lot of the same schemes, and a lot of the same guys, all who still love this game. And as do you and I, Blake, we still love this game, and it has been 23 years of this game. How incredible is that?
Yep, we just recently came up on the 20th anniversary just a couple of weeks ago, if I remember right. So, yeah, definitely amazing that such an abandonware game still holds such a strong tie to so many people and still continues on to this day.
It's going to, as far as I can tell, continue to go on strong for quite some time. Got about a minute to go left here in happy hour. While we're at it, I will mention next broadcast is already on, and that will be Saturday night. The Sandbox series is coming back. That is Josh Mercurio's project and of the NNS CRAs, so we're looking forward to bringing that back to everybody. And then, hey, Tuesdays, mark them on your calendar. Tuesdays, we are back every night on Tuesdays. So next Tuesday, we will be back here at AOR. And I do believe that will be Atlanta. Wanting to say the 07 version? I'll have to double check that, but yeah, basically classic Atlanta is what I should say. Not like classic, but pre-super speedway Atlanta.
Based off of their schedule, it just says Atlanta, but it almost sounds like it's the original.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, they are sticking to that version. Okay.
Yeah, Hobo Truck, which runs on Sunday the 22nd. It's just Atlanta, and then up on the.
Perfect. Yeah, another thing to note here. Sunday Night Truck Series still going for these guys here at AOR. So, if interested in either Sunday night or Tuesday night racing, let one of the admins know, and I'm sure they'd love to have you out here. To anyone out there who is watching this who is interested in participating. We've got a fan of Charlie Trusty in the chat there, rooting for the 43, starting P10 right in the middle of the field. But Blake, as you know, and as you found out just a day or two ago, you can win from anywhere at these super speedways.
You can. Now, the one thing that, Andrew, you might actually have a little bit of a better pulse on this than I do. Does this series have green-white checkers? And as a subsequent question, do they race it back when a caution comes out?
To my knowledge, if we are sticking to the rules from last season, we don't race back till 10 to go, and no green-white checkers.
Okay. So with that 10 to go, that's where I'm going to say that's going to be where it's going to be pivotal. Anyone, I mean, the race could potentially end under caution, but when you're running back with 10 to go and a big wreck happens, I mean, yeah, anything can happen, anything can go, but if you've got green to go and go after the start and finish line from there, yeah, anything can happen. And you can also go, as we saw in the 2018 Daytona 500, you can go from leading to wrecked by the guy in second. So
It don't take long. It doesn't take
it don't
much.
take long.
Don't take long. It don't take much. That is the nature of super speedway racing.
Drivers, start your engines!
Command is given. Now again, I'm not sure if this is just the game doing that stupid thing with the core, or if we actually had someone on the front row miss the start. Oh, I see. Okay, Randy Smith fell out of the server. So, second place on the grid is going to be wide open. Here's a look at those four horseman cars there, a couple of them at least. Herman Reese. New number for him. Driving the 59 this time around. Drove the 73 last season. Duke Sorensen now in the 24. Although same colors for him. You see him there in the outside row.
Now, I have
Gary
a
Moore in there
real
in the
quick
40.
question for you there, Andrew.
Hit me.
Looking through the field, and the Horseman cars are on mostly 3 different manufacturers. How do you feel about that?
I say that these guys do not have any actual tie-ins to any manufacturer, so you know what? Go crazy. I mean, we have a Pontiac in this race. So
I heard of teams back in the day using like Pontiacs for the super speedway races, and then Chevy for the rest of it, or whatever the case is. Hey, apparently you can run a team as a Cadillac, a Charger, and also a Ford.
hey, if it works, it works. And I know that these four horsemen guys, they love to make it work, and I will not be surprised if things go their way, if we will find them nose to tail at some point in this race. 70 laps here at Daytona. A new era has begun for HOBO, and it is called American Online Racing. The debut night is here for the newly rebranded HOBO Cup Series. Herman Reese leads him to the green flag, and in 2026, we are racing.
Lining up at the front of the field by Jeff Stacanis. One. Outside line starting to form up.
Ooh, Eddie Rayleigh pushing up the track there a little bit. There's some of that handling already starting to show. We have KJ at the back of the field there, blinking just a little bit. Randy Smith has gotten on track and is working his way off of pit lane. But from the pole, Herman Reese, in front of his teammate Jeff Stacanis there, Steve Grant clear in third rather, side by side for fourth, between Eddie Rayleigh and Gary Morin. Of course, Eddie Rayleigh with a super speedway win in 2025 that came at Talladega. Troy Donahue now clear, though, on the outside. That is definitely someone to watch for at these super speedways, is that 81 inside lane starting to slip here just a little bit. But right now the 40 trying to bring Wiley King, Charlie Trusty, and Greg Stenzo forward. But right now that outside, as we were saying, oh goodness, is some squirreliness. And I think that's why. Although right as I say that, I've already got someone trying the inside. Thinking about it.
At least a battle for second place going right now.
Grant decided to cut down there and try and give it a go. Eddie Rayleigh, oh goodness, he is all over the place. It's looking like, boy, he's looking like, oh gosh, who was that in the O'Reilly race? Corey Day.
Oh boy.
Oh, and so is Duke Sorensen. He is looking pretty squirrely there.
Oh, I'm so concerned about the 112 cutting off someone's nose.
Ugh. Yeah,
I get that he's trying to find the best line and get the best draft line, but
honestly, I don't think he's doing that on purpose. I think that's just the handling of that car. I'm willing to bet you that, oh, goodness gracious. And the same's going for the 81 and the 24. Those are the guys that are probably running 0-0 on the camber. And let me tell you what, running 0-0 on the camber is a miserable experience. It's faster. It's faster in the corner. Or I think it's actually the straightaways where it's faster. But oh my gosh, you have to hold such a pretty wheel. Or else you're going to be all over the place. And yeah, I think some of these guys might be feeling that. That's why I stick to the regular 180, which to those who don't know what I'm talking about, that is something that you can tune where 9 times out of 10 you're going to want, I want to say it's positive 180 on the left and negative in the right, but I could have that backwards. That's what you want to run at most ovals, because I'm pretty sure that will give you a better turn. When you're running it at a super speedway, I think it costs you straightaway speed by just a skosh. And so you'll be faster, but man, your car is going to be darty and all over the place. And I think that might be what we're seeing a little bit of. But everyone's keeping it clean thus far. So far, everyone that has tried that inside lane, it is not paying off for them. And Steve Grant's starting to slip back a little bit. Fugate's going to give it a try now in the 9. But what that has allowed for is Duke Sorensen to get up to third. And Steve Rubino's coming up here into the top 5 in that 07. How about that for the Rubino clan?
I wonder how much camouflage a white car can have against a wall.
Yeah, he's got a lot of black cars in front of him there, so kind of sticking out there a little bit. He's looking pretty smooth so far as that 07. He's got Monty Keller with him. Credit to Monty, moving up in that 028. Another brightly colored scheme there, and then Charlie Trusty on that outside lane is moving forward. I do believe that everybody except for Randy Smith is currently in this pack still. That is all the top 20, and hey, we can see them all without them all disappearing. So I guess maybe we did something right.
Yep, the benefit is right now is Jules at the very back, like not out of the draft or anything like that. I think he's just taking it easy.
Oh yeah, him and Ken Hansen both. I'm sure they do not mind being back there. Honestly, for me, at Super Speedways, I would love to be in the position that Jeff Brightingham is in right now in that 230. It's a great spot to be in. You got cars behind you, so you're not going to lose the draft, but you're also clear. You got a few car lengths to the car in front of you. So if anything happens in front of you, you can pretty well get woed up. So I would love to be in his shoes if I were in this race. But I'm not. I'm up here, and you know what? I'm having just as fun of a time. I don't know how much fun these guys are having with how their cars are driving, but, well, except for maybe Herman Reese, because he has been leading since the outside of the green flag here. 8 laps out front, taking lap 9 of 70. We've always nicknamed that thing the Battle-Ack. And it is looking like it is ready for battle. It looked like it was about to have a battle with turn 1 there. So yeah, even Herman Reese having some moments there with the handling.
Something that's out real quick is, well, obviously on super speedway racing, a good deal of it is handling and aerodynamics and everything like that. But consider this as well. with the speak of a few different things in the ratios, amongst other things, one could potentially be higher than your competitors. So the question is in case of usually they end up burning up more fuel. They have no one to draft with, and that's on the aerodynamic side. But what if your engine is just powered, but in consequence, it ends up more fuel? What do you do then?
Hey, run the higher RPM. And then in that case, you're going to have to try to find a way to compensate. Maybe, yeah, run it in the middle of the pack where you can run half throttle a little bit more. But what that also allows for when you're running a lower RPM is that actually allows you to put more grill tape on these things. These guys are probably running about 70% grill tape. If you have a low RPM, you're not heating up the engine as much. You can probably get away with 75%, which can make an aerodynamic difference, just like what you were just saying there, Blake. So that's something that, yeah, everyone is probably running slightly different gear ratios, getting to slightly different RPMs when they're at full speed here, which right now, Duke Sorensen going down the back straightaway was hitting 197 at max, getting down to about 193, 194 in the corners. That does make a difference, as you said, with like fuel burn, and also your ability to really tape it up a lot more. Or, if you're going to be late in the race, you can tape up maybe just a little bit without risking it blowing up any sooner, compared to if you're running a shorter gear and the higher RPMs, which will get you up to speed quicker, which will help you on restarts. So, give and take, but I think that in general, for a long run like what we're seeing right now, I think ultimately having that longer fourth gear is going to help you out. As the inside lane trying to form back up here once again, Jeff Fugate trying to bring, I believe that is Ricky Bumbalo in that 85. There's Jeff Trowbridge in the 20. Awesome looking number 20. Very patriotic. And Mac Daddy, there he is. And now Steve Rubino's seeing the momentum of that inside lane. He's going to try to go with them. There are some very strong cars down there now. I see Ryan Johnson down there. Eddie Rayleigh's giving it a go. Oh, goodness gracious! Bumbalo getting all kinds of squirrely. Nearly got into Monty Keller. They saved it. And now they're going to defend the inside lane as Stakanis and Reese come to the bottom.
Real quick on gearing ratio. Fast racing, the next gen car in iRacing, and all NASCAR 25. The fifth gear confuses the heck out of me. I have no idea how to get it to work, even though the speed at the end of the day are about the same equivalent. Generally gonna get up to about 190s to race, but how exactly are you supposed to do that correctly where it split at what was originally final gear and have it work effective?
You know, that is a darn good question, and I think the only time that we would ever be able to answer that question in this game is if we run PGA physics. Which,
But I was just going to say the interesting thing is that there's XC's made that do up GNS truck physics, but do have that fifth gear enabled.
well,
I don't know how they do it or how to explain it, but I'm saying as of last night's experience, yep, fifth gear, possible in a cup car, possible with cup physics. XC.
Oh, that's insane. KJ has lost the draft and is now last on track. And based on the fact that the last time he crossed the line he did not get a lap time, I'm going to presume that that is because he either fell out of the server or briefly blinked out. We totally missed that. And he is now, as he comes across the line, I'm pretty sure it's going to put him 2 laps down. 4 down.
I was going to say, I wonder if he's got like effectively a black flag and he's just losing laps each time he goes around.
No, he definitely fell out because of the fact that he didn't get the lap time there. And yeah, you'd lose a lap, maybe 2. if you lost the draft like that, but you wouldn't go 4 laps down that quickly. I mean, he's two laps behind Randy Smith, who didn't even start the race.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
so yeah, I think that he's gonna be hoping for a caution, and I cannot recall what the rule would be as far as getting laps back. But Blake, we are closing in here on pit stops. We are on lap 17 now. These guys can probably go 18 to 20. So with everyone on the bottom here, that's not too much of a concern, except for Charlie Trusty. I'm sure he's a bit nervous, but what's going to make everybody nervous here is just, yeah, getting it down to speed and getting woed up, even though you're going to have so many guys around you that you're probably going to be all braking at different points.
Yep. Problem number one is not stacking yourselves up and causing an accident. Problem number two is making sure that you get it low down to 55 miles an hour. Oh boy, this is getting very, very good.
That's because we got.
Pit
Oh yeah, here
stops.
we go. A little bit earlier than I expected. But Herman is gonna bring him down. A couple of the Horseman guys, including Stacanus, Bumbalo, Rubino, Ryan Johnson's in. There's Wiley King, Duke Sorensen, and Ken Hansen. Credit to all those guys. That was a great pit entry there, but yeah, it got a little dicey there with guys trying to get out of the way, but that will inherit the lead now to Jeff Fugate for the time being. But yeah, that is a little sooner than I was anticipating. Still shouldn't be a problem as far as a 3-stopper goes, though. If this were an 80-lap race, that would be a different story. But with 70, I think we should be just fine. Let's see who pits this time.
9.
Oh.
One car, big wiggle.
Oh, big wiggle indeed.
Oh,
He's going to
dear.
slide onto
Oh,
the
dear.
track. Flat tire, Monty Keller. He is below the racing line, though. Will that be a yellow flag? I don't believe so. Oh, he needs the air jack. There he goes.
Not only doesn't he need air jack, but unfortunately, he might have to go around the whole entire track to be able to get pit service. I don't know that they'll allow it.
Yeah, because he slid. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. That will give the lead to Gary Morin for the time being. Eddie Rayleigh, Steve Grant, Troy Donahue, and Jeff Bridegan have all stayed out. Should be in this time, I would imagine. And indeed they are.
Monty did manage to get pit service. Him, unfortunately, as he was trying to make his pit stop in, they were trying to go out.
Oh. We've all been there once or twice. Now we're going to see how everybody merges.
Cleanly.
Holy moly. We've got a 4-car train here that is just obliterating everybody. And that is led by, go figure, Herman Reese. Looks like Wiley King might be latching onto this pack here, so it should be 5. Steve Rubino's just barely holding on, but he should be able to get draft here shortly. Looks like we may have 2 packs here once they get formed up. Of course, we still have to see how these guys are going to form up. Gary Moore and Troy Donahue, they're going to be blown past. There's Bridegan, and there's Grant. And see you later. Eddie Rayleigh, though.
Had the lead, not anymore.
Not anymore. Into turn 3, the field passes him by. So 5 cars currently in the lead draft after pit stops have concluded. But these guys are now going to be just a little bit shorter on fuel, so their margins for strategy are going to be just a little bit narrower. But that's not going to matter really much if this is the gap that you're going to have. But we'll be keeping an eye on the gap between these guys and everyone else as this goes along. We'll see if we can get a bit of a group merged together here soon. Right now, Ken Hansen being pushed by Jeff Fugate. Mac Daddy's right there with them. Also trying to catch them are Steve Grant and Greg Stenzo. And they are trying to get Eddie Rayleigh and probably eventually Steve Rubino into this pack with them. Then maybe, just maybe, you can try and run these guys down. But they are a bunch of incredibly fast cars. that are up here in this top 5. And Ryan Johnson, shout out to him, getting up to second after that pit stop. He was around mid to back of the field throughout that entire first run. And the Buffalo Wild Wings machine now in second, pushing the dominator of this race so far, who has led pretty much every lap minus the pit cycle.
Something I wanted to float by you. So certainly, when you're running as a driver, you do have a decision to make. You can have the ability to be able to see how many projected laps of fuel that you have left. And I would say that maybe there's some people who their strategy is, well, I'm going to pit with 3 laps remaining. I'm going to pit with 2 laps remaining. I might even push it to 1 remaining. The question is especially because we've all done this green flag run thus far, and benefit of the racing, knock on wood, we haven't had any cautions yet. My curiosity is simply this: is someone going to make a more wild pit strategy, or maybe already starting their back cycle of pit strategy, try to have just a difference in fuel that maybe it'll make it up there at the end? What they don't have in speed, they might be able to make up in pit strategy and gain or potentially also lose a distance because of it.
Well, I think a big part of why this top 5 got ahead like they did is not just because of the clean pit stop that they had, which was very clean, but also the fact that they pitted a little bit earlier. They probably still had another lap or 2 projected of fuel compared to everyone else who probably ran it dry. So that's a little bit less time that they were sitting there waiting for the fuel to finish. And I bet you that's what got them so far ahead. And then they'll get far enough ahead that going forward, they can still top it off after running it dry and not really have to worry about losing too much. And especially if they continue to draft like they are, which we're going to check in on the lap times here. But from what I can gather, that's probably why they got as far ahead as they did, combined with an excellent pit entry. So they are currently 3 seconds ahead of the second pack. The second pack consists of, looks like 7 cars, led by Ken Hansen, and getting some great pushes. But lap time-wise, they appear to be pretty even, at least the last time they were. Although now you got some lap cars latched onto this group as well, so it's 7v7. It's just going to be a matter of who has the faster cars and who can push better. But with where these guys pitted, they should be able to go to about lap 35. That time it looked like they may have been a little bit slower. Actually, no, not at all. They were about the same again. So, yeah, I think the best bet at this point is hope for a yellow flag if you're not in this lead draft. If you are in this lead draft, then hope that this race goes totally 100% caution free, which is certainly very, very possible with the caliber of drivers that we got here. And laps away from the halfway point here at Daytona in the season opener for the American Online Racing HOBO Division Cup Series. Great to see all these HOBO guys back out here, and like I said earlier, just great to be back in the booth calling it for this league and these drivers. Again, tune in every Tuesday night from now through November. We're going to be bringing you coverage of the entire season. All 39 races. Give or take, of course. Herman Race continues to dominate, leading every single lap minus those during the first pit cycle. Ryan Johnson currently second. Jeff Stakanis and Ricky Bumbalo third and fourth. And Wiley King rounds out this top 5 lead draft. Got Randy Smith and Charlie Trusty both laps down. Back here we got Ken Hansen, as these guys are racing up here. I think they may have been saying, I don't think Ken's the guy to lead this line. So now they're going to try and see if they can get a little better formed up, but that's going to cost them here in the short run. Keith McLean, Mac Daddy's going to try and lead this line. Eddie Rayleigh going with him. Steve Grant. There's Steve Rubino. Greg Stenzo, Ken Hansen, Jeff Fugate. All in this pack that is all for position 6th through 12th. Then you gotta go a little further back here. Gary Morin, Duke Sorensen, Troy Donahue, 13th, 14th, and 15th. More Dyson a little bit further back, which includes Monty Keller, Jeff Trowbridge, and Jeff Brightigan. And then we cycle back around to the leaders. Entering turn 3. Coming around to start lap number 30. Clicking off these laps under green in a hurry. And I do have to send a big shout out to my cohort here, Mr. Blake Warren, on winning the NHSR race. Did I say that right?
Very close. NASCAR High Speed League is what it's called.
NHSL, that's what it is. But a big congratulations on your win in that one, man. I had to shout that out because that is darn impressive.
Yep. Very, very happy to win again at Daytona. It's been about 3 years since I've done that on the big super speedway. And I'll certainly say that this gives me a lot more confidence, especially in open setup leagues, that, you know what, I might be able to crack some wins in some other leagues and maybe not a threat for the championship, but at least kind of get my markings up some.
Hey, come out here to AOR. Give it a try. Why not? You know, it's when we were talking earlier, and you had mentioned, like, yeah, like, you and I have known each other a long time, and I was thinking back to, I'm gonna get a little bit nostalgic here just while we're kind of running some green flag laps here. Oh, right as I say that, Ryan Johnson, engine expires from 2nd place.
Oh, no. Credit to everyone who managed to avoid him. That could have gone ugly so fast.
Very ugly, very quick. Caution is out for the first time tonight with 39 to go. Oh, brother.
It blew up right under the caution light as they were headed into the tri-oval. There's nothing that you can do to be able to fix that. What a heartbreaker for Ryan Johnson. Man, oh man.
That, I swear last year that happened to him a couple times when he was on good competitive runs, and man, this time he finds himself blowing up from the runner-up position. He disconnects from TeamSpeak in a hurry, and he is probably throwing things.
Oh yeah, the engine completely conked itself out, like right in the apex of 1 and 2. This was not a situation of being able to get it back into the pits and a couple whacks with a hammer and a couple cranks of a wrench. This was terminal.
Yeah. Credit to especially Ricky Bumblow, got very sideways trying to save that thing. It is a piston failure that is listed as the failure on that number 78. What a heartbreaker for that number 78. Charlie Trusty will get the free pass under this caution, which once again is called automatically by the in-game admin, which is so cool. Wow. Man, I was just about to tell a story to embarrass Blake. No, I'm just kidding.
We got caution time to figure that out after they make their pit stops.
It wasn't an embarrassing story. It was a nostalgic story, more so. We'll get to that in a moment.
It can be both. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive.
Actually, you know what? Looking back on it, yeah, it might actually be a little bit embarrassing. it was my very first battle in all of NR2003 that I like properly had, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, let's check out these pit stops, and oh boy, some strategy already being played as Wiley King has opted not to come down this first time. Everybody else appearing to do so. If I'm not mistaken, I think that 59 font's the Levine Family Racing font.
It is, and I was actually going to make the snarky comment. You know, I know that they certainly moved the numbers forward, but did they also have to move them down so far? It's
That's
trying to look like a next gen, and then there's this.
you know, I say in the realm of NR 2003, you do whatever you want. In real life,
Fair.
in real life, I still say, yeah, the numbers should stay on the door, but that's just me.
I think the number needs a push-up bra.
I love that. Had a few guys stay out that first time around here. We'll see if they continue to stay out or if they're just going to opt to top off here. Something that I will throw out here, we've got 38 to go. I mean, 37 at the stripe. I think that's still going to be putting them into a two-stop window from here, or a one-stop. Wait, no. Ooh,
It could teeter either way, I would say. They made a pit stop earlier. This the second go around.
Yeah, this
Caution
actually.
laps. I think that you still have to make one more, probably like close to around 10 to go.
Oh yeah,
10 to 15 to go, I'd estimate.
Yeah, you're going to be stopping again. I'm actually just crunching. I'm doing the mental math now, and this is actually, yeah, this is going to be like right on splitting the stint as far as making it on fuel on that one stop. I think all these guys should be able to do it, but yeah, they're not going to have much in the reserve tank. So it's a good thing green white checkers are not a thing.
That was something that I failed to tell you earlier in my story from winning last night. That race could have had potentially 3 green-white checkers, and when I crossed the line and finished first, I only had like about half a lap of fuel left.
Oh. Ooh.
To add this drop into the bucket as well, the league also has a rule that you can only pit for so many sets of tires throughout the race. We were given a limit of 3.
Do the set tire limit. I know a couple leagues that do that. I don't know one of them, so that's something to bear in mind. Very cool.
I'll say this. It is kind of amazing how creative different people can be with their leagues and everything like that, whether they want to do the old school Winston Cup points format or they want to do stages but no yellows. They want to do the chase format. They want to do the playoffs. They want to do a blend of all of it. The creativity and just interesting ideas that can be come up with also requires a very special type of driver to either deal with those rules or try to learn to them.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, if you're running all kinds of different places, obviously, yeah, a lot of different places are going to be running different stuff to just kind of keep it fresh, keep it unique, which I think is awesome. And yeah, credit to everything that these guys are able to come up with. AOR's pretty bare bones. I'm pretty sure that I think if I recall correctly, they were sticking to the same like kind of 10 race chase that we had last season. So kind of like the original chase format. But otherwise, yeah, just pretty bare bones. Nothing too fancy.
Lights are out on the pace car.
Got some wave rounds here. Randy Smith, Jeff Brightigan, and KJ.
You want to try and tell that story real quick before we go green again, or you think you need more time?
Oh, I got you. So, I remember my very first race on online ever, but the very first time that I think I really raced hard with anybody, like for a finishing position, was with you. And you remember Soko? I think it was called Soko.
Southern Comfort, yeah, I
Yep.
do.
Yep. And it was at Rockingham, and I think you were racing for like fourth or something. And yeah, that was like my fourth or fifth online race ever. And I just remember having a great battle with that. You and I were having fun with it, but the embarrassing part is that I won that battle because I think you spun out on the last lap.
Still looking for a Rockingham win. I had a case last year where I was running in a truck series. Stayed out longer, I think because of a pit strategy that me and another person came up with. Pitted with like maybe 10 to 15 laps to go, and I was on a rocket ship rail, like car handling perfectly. It's biting into the track great. The only thing I need is gas. I could not make up the difference and ended up finishing third. The guys who pit like on like 15 to go beat me with 10 to go, and there was not enough time on tires to be able to make up that difference. Still want to win there.
Would have been there. Race car's going to pull in here. We've got Herman Reese leading them back to the green flag here. Monticello lined up on the inside, kind of classic NASCAR style. Lap down, you're going to line up on that bottom lane, but green flag back out. Second half of the race officially underway. Does anyone have anything for this battle act? We'll find out. Eddie Rayleigh behind him. Highest we've seen that 112 so far in this race. Definitely knows how to get it done on these super speedways, as mentioned before. Teammate Caleb Lingle not out here tonight. I'm sure we'll see that 113 out here at some point or another. Oh boy, here we go. Big run coming here for Steve Grant. Got some separation. Well, he's going to have to find his way around Monty, who did fall a lap down after having that spin coming on a pit road. Trying to get his lap back the hard way, but not going to really work this time. A little bit of server lag. That'll make you a little nervous at a track like this. Oh, Rubino. Pushing up the track there and getting into the wall just a little bit. Troy Donahue checking up for him.
I was about to say,
there.
I was about to say, I feel like I'm watching someone play NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. Just about every single other position is currently running a 4-horseman car.
You're right. Oh man, you get those guys all lined up. It's going to be game over. And we mentioned the 4 horsemen before, but we never really gone into much detail about it. Oh, goodness, actually, they're not going to work together here. We're going side by side here. Jeff Stacana's going to try to take it for himself. Yeah, there you go. And, ooh, Eddie Rayleigh's going to... don't know which way he's going.
Hopefully not into the wall.
Or into one of these guys' bumpers offset. You know how that would end.
Yeah. How well does a Ford line up with a Cadillac bumper? I don't think I'm going to find that out tonight.
We might not. But, hey, we got a couple Dodges about to link up here on the bottom. Bumbelow up to the bumper of Stacana. We got side by side for the race lead on lap 39. And, oh, we got 3 wide. Monticello trying to bail out. It's going to stack them up there a little bit. Ooh, brother.
Sketchy, twitchy.
Ooh, pushing up the track there, Ken Hansen. They're getting a little dicey here mid-pack. But on the bottom lane, look at that, Blake. 4 horseman cars on the bottom at least. 1, 2, 3, 4. But they're on the bottom, though. We'll see if Eddie Rayleigh can try and make the grippier outside lane work. He's got Steve Grant with him, which is definitely a car that I would love to have behind me. But you know how fast that 59 is. It's not going to work.
I was just going to say, just because you're dominating the inside lane does not mean that you're going to pull away like a Japanese bullet train versus a steam locomotive.
Yeah, let's see. What do you want? The higher speed or the muscle? I think at this point you want a bit of both. And
I vote reliability.
I was going to say, I don't know where I was going with that, actually.
Okay, be careful, drivers, because we got a lap car up ahead. Hope
Right
they
again.
know what's cooking up behind them. Oh, boy.
Jeff's trying to keep an eye there. I think he had to come down pit road for something. Game may have given him a penalty for something, and he had to serve it, and now losing a lap, he's going to hope to try to latch onto the field. But right now, Eddie Rayleigh, we saw him a little sketchy earlier on, but still relatively holding his own. He's going to need a bit of a push here from that 11. He's going to have any chance here. I think that's honestly just showing the strength of these 4 horseman cars. What I was going to allude to earlier, before we had some clenching moments, shall we say. Yeah, the 4 horsemen, these guys are really a powerhouse as far as, I mean, you got Herman Reese and Keith McLean a part of this. You got Ricky Bumbalo, who's a great driver of his own right, and Jeff Stacanis. All of these guys are sharing information. They spend hours upon hours just testing and trying things and running laps. I bet you Herman Reese is probably running like a couple, like maybe 1,000 laps before these races. Maybe not on the super speedways, but at the very least, everywhere else. And he is sharing that information with everyone else, and everyone else is sharing the information that they're finding. And that is how they get so good. And so now, the alliance is really showing. Of course, obviously, they're all running the same scheme. And now that they're all together, good luck separating them. Because these guys know a thing or two of how to not only tune these things, but how to drive those tuned setups.
I know the 28 isn't sponsored by Haviland in the traditional sense, but man, that definitely looks like something that would be a Haviland car.
Oh, he drove the Haviland car to a championship last year.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did. He was running that Davey Allison. Yeah. What the heck happened to my brain right there to say Bobby? He was running that Davey
You could
Allison.
have said Ricky Rudd, and you would have been right as well.
I mean, true. Very, very true. That is the, I will always associate that number font with Ricky Rudd, because, of course, that's who was driving that car growing up. Ooh, goodness. We are getting a little dicey again here, and that outside lane is not going away. They are up to third.
Not going away, but I don't think they're formed up as well as they would like to be.
Yeah, if that 11 could just stay glued to the 112, but the 112 is still just, it's just squirrely enough that I'm sure that's making Steve a little reluctant.
Oh boy, I almost thought that we had an impact.
We are seeing a lot of movement among this pack. This is the most side-by-side that we have seen for an extended period. And now the 112 is along the door of the 31. And he's going to have the momentum on the outside there, and he's going to get a bit of a shove. But that inside lane is still more tightly packed. But they're doing a great job up there, just keeping it at the very least even. If not, they're gaining and clawing like an inch or two forward very slowly. We got 25 laps to go now here in this race, so you're still going to want to go about probably 6 more laps, maybe 7 if you want to really secure yourself making it to the end. That's pushing up the track. The 11 has to get out of the gas as a result. That will cost them their momentum just a little bit. This field here currently consists of 16 lead lap cars. Only, I believe, 1 or 2 of them in this pack laps or more down. Actually, no, the 40 is on the... Oh, goodness gracious, KJ. Oh, and he's disappearing. That's not going to help matters.
KJ, you're not a ghost, you're a race car.
Oh, he's a ghost now. Oh, nope, there he is.
Not Danny Phantom.
Oh, there's a throwback.
One thing that I'll certainly say is while the game does not simulate side drafting, there is something so satisfying about getting alongside of someone and making them think that you're side drafting them. Just to play a little bit of mental games with them.
Oh, it definitely will cost you some momentum. Oh, goodness gracious. Fumble loose sideways off of turn 4, but no, yeah, there's a mental game in that if you're pinching the inside lane down, I mean, granted, number one, you're not going to make very many friends doing that. But number two, it is going to cost that inside lane momentum because they have to turn the wheel just that little bit harder in order to not hit you. So you're absolutely right that there is some mentality there of kind of keeping everyone in check down there. Especially when you're actually getting some runs like the 112 is getting. Oh, if he doesn't get a bad bump.
No,
Thought
if
he
it
was
was
about
bad
that
bump
moment.
or a bad wiggle.
Yeah, one or the other. You mentioned about a Dodge pushing a Cadillac. How about a Pontiac pushing a Ford?
Next thing you're going to tell me, a Buick is going to push a Tesla.
Does anyone know if a Tesla template exists for this game? Please tell me. I would love to see that.
Next gen, yes.
That would be hilarious, and I really want to see that now.
I'm not talking about the SUV. I'm talking about the Model Y, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that you could really create a template for a Cybertruck in this game. Unless you made a whole new mod.
I was going to say, I mean, we've got the Wee mod, which is something in and of itself.
Do I want to know what that is?
Essentially, it looks like a bunch of elves are driving candy cars that are in the shape of, like, jelly beans, almost.
Or who can forget the Cube mod?
Yes, the wonderful Cube mod.
So I guess in theory it could be pulled off.
Probably one of the least aerodynamic mods in the game, but you would never know it.
Can we please get a Cube series going? One of these leagues. I don't care who it is. Someone make it happen.
I will say something that I do kind of hope that gets a little bit of traction, because I did run a season of it in what was a spiritual successor to Southern Comfort, as we were talking earlier. A series called 150. They ran I think it's the vintage trucks from 1995, I want to say. It's a newer mod that came out for the game.
Yes, yes.
Very, very fun, actually.
Oh, that mod is fantastic. We actually, last year, broadcasted a HOBO Racer 2 that ran that mod, and the damage physics are incredible.
Yeah.
Like the windshields crack. Because, you know, it's the 1960s, so of course they're actually running glass, and of course while we're talking about all this, Eddie Rayleigh's drawing even for the lead. But, yeah, definitely a fun mod, and there's a few series that do run that, and I know that these guys do on Sundays, and I believe that there is also a CCR series that runs them as well.
Jules has gone down into the pit.
Yeah, he did get a wave around, so he was probably already on the edge of fuel there, but hey, the Four Horsemen train is not looking so strong right now because we've got the outside lane charging forward here. Eddie Rayleigh contending for the race lead. Steve Grant behind him. Troy Donahue, Gary Morin all up there. And now the 112 is clear in the race lead. So put that U.S. Army Ford out in front.
Now, is he going to pull down and throw the block?
Oh, well, speaking of pulling down.
All four horsemen.
Oh, Trustee, we got one around. Hugate.
23 out in the grass.
Oh, no!
The 9 is stuck.
And the 59 just spun off his teammate. What just happened?
Oh, my goodness.
That is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Herman and Jeff just merged together. The dominator of this race just spun into the grass while they were going 55 miles an hour.
I kind of wonder if he just didn't see him. I don't know how. What?
Yeah, you seeing that?
Yeah, I just looked back on it. I have no idea if you just didn't see the car to the outside. Big smoky tires, big crash into the inside wall by the 94. 94 flips!
And the 11 has blown up. What is happening this time?
You know how we were having a very clean and fun race?
And
I think that just went out the window.
we were just having a casual conversation, and now this has all happened.
The 11 is out of the race with a blown camshaft.
Wow.
So,
who's going to merge where?
I was going to say, what do we do now?
I guess we're going to have to wait for the cycle here, and then we'll try and get some replays for everybody, but man, did this just turn on its head. Steve Grant blows up, Ken Hansen flips, and Herman Reese, the dominant car of the race, spins off the bumper of his teammate.
Jeff Stakanis makes it back into the pits, though I hope he did not get bopped with a speeding penalty.
Eddie Rayleigh came into pits really, really hot, so I don't know if he might get bopped here as well. I think in all this, Gary Morin, assuming that the 112 has to serve a penalty, because again, he came down pit road at like 100 miles an hour. And yeah, he did get a penalty. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I was watching him.
112 is coming into the pits again.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I'm not really surprised at that. He came in so hot that it was crazy. So Gary Morin's now the race leader.
Yeah.
Who had that on their bingo card? After, I mean, he had been running well. He was running in the pack, but man.
I think that we went from playing bingo to now 52 pickup.
I would say so. Although he is by himself, and Keith McLean is now leading, well, KJ is a lap down, and Troy Donahue is third. They're going to draft right up to him as Gary takes 15 laps to go. So they'll draft up to him no problem. And we'll have, it looks like, probably a 3-car race for the win, assuming it stays as it is. Ricky Bumbalow is by his lonesome in 4th. But he'll get caught by the drafter. Steve Rubino. And, yeah, there's Fugate, who went for a spin. Jeff Trowbridge is 6th. What has happened? The entire running order is now on its head.
I was going to say, I mean, Bumbalow is currently sitting in 4th, but the curiosity that I have is just, I don't know. Is Bumbalow going to be able to catch up to the 28 and then just start, well, 2 of the 4 horsemen start a draft train with one another? Half a horse, I guess.
Half a horse. Well, half a horse, I guess, is better than none.
Pray that you don't end up with half a horse in your bed tonight.
What?
Godfather reference.
Goes to show how educated I am when it comes to references. Now, here's another thing, though, to note. As Keith McLean has taken the race lead after drafting up to the 40. That 029 of KJ is very much affiliated with those horsemen. Doesn't run their scheme. He's not officially a teammate. But he's definitely affiliated. He's got kind of the, I guess you can call it the alliance going.
Got the shiny numbers.
He's got very shiny numbers. So, he is going to be staying very, very committed to that 28th bumper.
Well, the one thing that I'm very impressed by right now is currently the 40 and 81 are working together, and they're pretty much keeping pace with the 28. Like, maybe not perfect, at least earlier in turn 1 they were nearly side by side. Now they're starting to gap out a little bit, but we're still in a situation where there's 2 lap down cars splitting between 1st and 3rd.
Mm-hmm. And Monty Keller, who races with those 2 in front of him a lot at BSR, I feel like he may stay dedicated to these guys. But if the 40 and the 81 could generate enough for a run, they may be able to try to make something happen. We've got 12 laps to go here.
and I'll throw this into the situation. Okay, so the 59 is not a lap down at the moment, but he is ahead of the leaders. Is
On
there going to be a
11th.
risk of interference or drafting help?
I would say drafting help if they catch him. I mean, his
Oh,
speed
I mean
difference
playing
isn't that
interference
big.
with the other leaders, but yeah.
Yeah, and he is drafting with Wiley King, and that is for position. So we'll see if this pack catches those two or not. We got 11 laps to go here in a race that has only seen one caution. It was for a blown engine. No cautions for incidents, but man, we saw one incident in the first round of pit stops, and then the second round of pit stops, everything just went holy moly.
I'll say this much. Definitely incidents that I don't think anyone would have complained if they were necessarily thrown as cautions. They certainly fits under the merit of what a caution could be.
Yeah. Ooh, look at this. Monty Keller just dumped KJ. And I don't know if that means that he's maybe going to try and bring that 40 up into contention here. Let's find out here with 10 laps to go here in the season opener at Daytona. A very wacky race that has seen only one caution. A race dominated by Herman Reese. And Herman at threat of falling a lap down here. Eddie Rayleigh, who was leading there for a while with a speeding penalty. And just a crazy, crazy sequence of events under that last round of pit stops that has gotten Keith McLean up into a prime race winning position here with a teammate affiliate behind him. And two guys that we haven't seen up at the front very much. Well, Troy Donahue has had a very strong car all race long, so I shouldn't really say that about the 81. Well, that's some server lag right there. Yikes. And I think that just spooked KJ as he bails out. And now there is no one separating first and second.
I was going to say, this race has gone from a race that felt like it was in present day to something in the 1970s.
As long as we don't have a 1979 ordeal between these two, as entertaining as that would be.
But would people be excited about the 1976 style finish?
Was that Petty Pearson?
Yes, that was Petty Pearson.
That was the one. Where Petty got stuck in the grass.
Yep. I kind of find it funny that, like, if the live flag-to-flag broadcast had happened just a few years earlier, I think that the 76 500 would have been held in the same relevance and reverence as the 1979 race.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely 100%.
Okay, I hope the 40 doesn't get spun.
Oh, yeah, he is, Boy, what do you do here? You're a minnow surrounded by sharks here. Basically, because of the teammates and the teammate affiliations here.
Go faster?
Go faster. Keep him added. That's all you can do. Although at this rate, now you got Troy Donahue, who, by the way, is very much a factor for this win. He's now trying to push KJ, and Monty Keller's down there with them. Boy, I don't know. I still think that it's looking pretty darn good for Keith McLean here. But 6 laps to go. A lot can happen.
I'm more stunned for once. I'm just watching this and I'm blown away. I have no idea who to focus on and who's the better person to pick.
Now, Troy's going to bail out from behind the 029. He sees the momentum on that high side, and he's going to take it. And I bet you all of them are probably like, get this 029 and 59 out of here so that we can just go nuts.
Well, I'll throw this in too. We also have lap traffic up ahead, so where are they going to go?
I saw Randy Smith up there a little bit. Rough break for Randy Smith after starting on the front. Well, he was going to start on the front row and then didn't even start the race after falling out of the server Got 5 laps to go here in the season opener. And now the 1, 2, 3 cars in the race proper are 1, 2, 3 in this pack. I feel like if you're going to have a shot at this win, if you're the 40 or the 81, you two have to work together to get by this 28, and then you can dice it up. That would be my mentality.
Good point. But then my follow-up question is, who's going to be willing to stand back and keep the 28 from just passing you back?
Because that's true. Because then you're going to have his teammates with him. So, I mean, this is a TTS physics, so there's not going to be. Oh, is that smoke? I see. I'm sure if someone else may have blown up or not. Dan says he feels it's coming, whether that's a pass for the lead or a crash. Gary looks outside. Troy's going to hang him out? Question mark?
Maybe suck off the back end of both cars. That way you come out the window either way.
4 to go. Oh, man, Troy, I don't know which way he's going. Run is with the 40, though. And he's actually going to get ahead by a nose.
He had the nose ahead for just a brief moment. Andrew, do you think that the outside lane could work in this situation?
Absolutely.
Could somebody win at this close of a run?
Absolutely, he can do it, especially if he's going to get a push. Well, now the 81's committed because now the 028's to his outside. 3 laps to go. And that 40 might be spoiling things here for the 4 horsemen. He is looking pretty sporty on that outside if he doesn't get doored.
Not doored, but definitely. I think he gave himself a little bit, maybe too much room to breathe.
Well, if he can get clear,
by about 3/4 of a car, and now they're drawing up about even.
Shorter way around there for Keith, but now the run's going to come to the 40 on the outside, and Monty's looking great, pushing that number 40. Gary Morin leads it with 2 to go. Can he get clear going into 1?
I think we're about to see probably one of the closest finishes ever.
Oh, he could have cut down if he wanted to, but he didn't. He wants that momentum.
I genuinely wouldn't even suggest chopping down to the inside unless you know that you're going to be clear.
I think that's a good point. Monty Keller seems like he's sticking with him. He's clear again. Barely. Oh, that time he goes.
Chop it down. He's going to take the lead, and he's going to hold the block. He's got to hold it on for a lap and a quarter.
Coming to the white. Gary Morin looking to spoil the 4 horsemen's party here. Troy Donahue is still in this pack as a factor. Everybody else in this pack laps down. Oh my gosh, there's another pack actually catching them. Look at that.
Go for the move.
Oh boy.
Debbie Ford. Now is there a battle of oh, he's right on.
Oh, he's going to turn him around. And that is a big crash.
They all crash.
Are you kidding? Who got through?
Somebody just exploded down the last stretch. 28 is flipping over and over again. Who in the world is the lead now?
Steve Rufino. The 07 is going to come to the checkered flag. Steve Rubino wins it.
The horseman pulled out a shotgun and accidentally blew himself away.
I got nothing.
Hey, Andrew, remember when I said that we were going to see an amazing finish? That was an understatement.
That's different from what I had in mind. Dan, you called it.
I'm stunned for once.
I think my neighbors are going to be a little bit unamused at me. Wow. What did I just witness? Keith McLean got to the bumper of the 40 turned him, obviously not on purpose. And
That
then
was,
and then everyone just exploded because everyone is so tight quarters. I mean, it's Daytona. It's the big one. The big one just happened.
the
And
the
the 07
1979 Daytona 500 can't even compare to this. This
Nope.
beat it.
The 07 just pulled a William Byron from 2025 500. All the leaders wrecked, and he got around it. He wasn't even in the lead draft. He was nowhere near it.
You know what? I just kind of figured out what race this kind of reminded me of. Just the wrong type of track. We're at the wrong track. Michael Waltrip winning at Nashville in the Busch Series. The 3 or 4 leaders end up taking each other out on the final lap, and Michael Waltrip ends up winning.
Caution comes down, and Michael Waltrip makes the pass. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. That was this, but Daytona victory for Steve Rubino.
Man, after he steps back from the reins of the HOBO Racing League, he's a winner in this new era.
And it just reels him back in?
Well, here's the thing to note, as we're going to go ahead and take a look at this, and everything. We're going to focus in on Rubino here. This pack was actually catching them. Like they were catching. They were too far back to really be a factor. But he barely lifts. He's just flat. He's got Jeff Stacanis, who was a lap down. Ricky Bumbalo was right there with him, and also went flat. And yeah, they just dove down and prayed. And lo and behold, no one ended up on the apron there. They were able to get through it. And a win's a win. I mean, it was going to be probably a 4th place finish for him had that not happened, which would have been a great finish. Instead, is a race win.
I think the crazier thing was the fact that the inside and the outside were not safe zones. That whole entire backstretch was carnage.
The only place that you could go was down onto the pavement of the apron, and that was it.
Yep.
Let's get another look here. We'll get a slightly different angle here. Keith McLean, as the 40 just washes up just a skosh. And, of course, yeah, the NR pings then start to occur. And yeah, everyone obviously flies through there, and whoop, that is the automatic ending it there. But we'll be able to look at the official results here on the website, but oh my goodness. As I'm pulling everything up here, yeah, I'm having a difficult time finding proper words to be able to say, like, oh yeah, this is what happened. What happened was craziness. I actually still don't even know who finished 3rd. Let's see what we can get here. If I'm not mistaken, it should be pretty much a live update. If everyone just bears with me here. Okay, so we are still waiting on that. All right. Let me.
There might be a delay in synchronization.
Yeah, I
It'll
think
probably
so.
be there at some point, but it may not be.
Yeah, I totally forgot that with the automation that the server shuts down after only like 2 minutes. I totally forgot about that.
For the future.
Would anybody up there have an export? That was me talking to Keith McLean here. This is first race under this new system, so we'll get it sorted out, and we'll be able to talk to our top finishers here soon. But first, we're going to try and get the actual results. Man, Steve Urbino winning it in holy cow fashion. That's about
joined your channel.
Not the best way that I can word that. Holy shamoly. As we got some guys jumping down here. I guess these are our top three, or a couple of our top three finishers. Ricky Bumbalo's down here, and I was so caught up in what was going on there, I forgot to look at the results. I forgot that the server shut down, that I didn't even know the rest of the results aside from the top two.
Yeah, it was Steve and Ricky and Troy.
Gotcha. And I'm guessing this is Troy that's down here as well?
Yes, sir.
Right on. Let me just
joined
make
your channel.
one quick request here. Yeah, if anybody's able to like get an export on Facebook or anything to me, and then I'll be able to get the results out to the stream then. But
we were so bewildered by that finish that everything happened too quickly for us to gather any other information.
pretty much. But
you should have been behind the wheel.
I can only imagine, Troy. You were the only one in the top three there that is still going to emerge with the top three.
Yeah.
But I'll ask you first before we get to all the craziness there on the backstretch. Your mentality of having all these lap cars around you, and a lot of them, I'm sure, we're going to be helping Keith. So it's you, Keith, and Gary that are all racing it out there. What is your mentality of trying to get the run that you needed to pass them both?
I actually wanted to push Gary, but Gary jumped up to the high side. I thought a little bit too soon, and then I committed to staying behind Keith to keep the other ones behind me.
And then I guess the $1 million question is going to be from your perspective on the final lap there. What the heck went through your head?
Yeah, it just happened so fast when Keith and Gary got together. It just, that's what happens here.
That is unfortunately the nature of super speedway racing sometimes, but you still got the top three out of it at the end of the day, so a big points haul right off the bat for you. Going ahead with this big 39 race season that we have here, what are your expectations going forward here, especially now that you got a podium out of the bat?
Yeah, my first podium since I've been with Hobo, and grateful that Hobo has moved over to AOR and doing a good job.
And yeah, keeping it pretty simple. A great finish for you, my friend. Whenever we get you up here, though, we always give you the floor here to wrap it up with any closing thoughts, shout-outs, anything that you want to put out for the masses.
Well, I appreciate that, Andrew and Blake. Thank you for what you guys do. That sheds a little light on what we do every Tuesday night. And again, huge kudos to my teammates. Couldn't be here without them. So grateful.
Right on, my man. Great finish tonight, and best of luck. Sorry that it went the way it did, but also not really, because it's the third regardless.
I was surprised when I saw the final results. I was still in third, and I'm like, oh, okay, because that was my goal. Get up here.
There you go, man. Well, great job, and glad that we got to talk to you. Hopefully, we'll get to talk to you some other times during the season.
Yes, sir. Again, congratulations to Steve and Ricky as well.
Right on, man. We'll turn it over to Mr.
User
Bumbalo
left your
here,
channel.
runner-up, who was chasing down that lead pack, pushing Steve, but looked like it was going to be just coming up short, but ultimately everything fell apart in front of you. Those seas pretty much parted for you guys, but being the pusher there, what was your mentality through 1 and 2?
Well, I had two of my teammates in front of me, and plus Steve, and we was just pushing as hard as we could, trying to catch that lead pack. And we was like, well, we're going to run out of time. And then, luck would have it, they started wrecking, and we dropped down at the bottom, myself, Jeff, and Steve Rubino. Fortunately, I don't know what happened with Jeff Fugay. He took a wrong route and wound up in the wreck. But that was the winning move, because when the big one happened, you try to find safety.
Try to find the safest place to be. But I'll ask you the same question I asked Troy. First race, and you already got yourself a runner-up finish. Any momentum that you feel like this can give you going for the rest of these 38 races remaining?
Not really, because it's Daytona, and anybody can get lucky. Really, just got to stay out of trouble and have clean pit stops. Really, when we start getting to some more intermediate tracks, I will tell the tale. I'm not going to get all excited and get my hope up for finishing second at Daytona. So let's see. Hopefully I'll have a good run just like I did last season. Even though the points didn't show, I ran way better than what I had previously.
Yeah, we saw that 85 up there a good bit, so hopefully the same will apply this time around. And hey, we got one of those intermediate tracks next week at Atlanta, and of course, being the game track, should be pretty competitive, but also quite the challenge. So I think, yeah, as you said tonight, a little bit of a crapshoot. Still pretty cool to see, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see that 85 up front next week.
Yeah, hopefully. I bet you all enjoy the horseman cars today too.
It was not as hard differentiating them as I thought it was. I made a joke to Keith earlier before the stream started saying, man, y'all going to make this a nightmare to try to call this. But no, it was good stuff. And hey, it was still going to be a great finish for you regardless of whatever happened there. So the fact that it turned into a runner-up, as you said, pretty lucky. But still, man, great job. And we'll let you have the floor here for closing thoughts before we let you get out of here.
Yeah, thank you guys for hosting us again this year. We had a pretty good time last year, so hopefully we'll have a great time again this year. Thanks, Jeff Tobridge and the guys at AOR for allowing us to come over after Steve Rubino decided to call it quits. We're still Hobo guys and still appreciate everything that Steve Rubino did and his brother Dan. So hopefully we can continue this on and make everybody that was previous in Hobo, and we can make them all proud. Congrats to Steve for making the right moves to win the race, and it's kind of funny. The previous owner wins the opening race with the new owner, so it's pretty cool.
I was literally thinking the same thing. So we'll get a word from him here in just a moment. But before I do, Ricky, great job tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you some more, and we'll be able to see that 85 up there toward the front throughout the season.
Yep. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Right on, man. That turns us to whether you can call it luck, whether you can call it skill, whatever it may be. That 07 of Steve Rubino ends up in victory lane. Steve, I'll first off just check you got a copy.
I got you.
Well, Ricky did sum it up. The first race after you step away from the head roll, you end up in victory lane, and regardless of if it was because the seas parted for you or whatever the circumstance was, I gotta ask you, what's the feeling of that? It's gotta be something at least kind of special, or something's gotta be going on in your head with that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Actually, I think it's kind of funny too that it worked out this way. But yeah, hey, I'll take it.
If any way that you can take them at a super speedway like that. Yeah, as I was saying, you guys were trying to run down that pack, and it looked like it was going to be just short, but then calamity happens, and you find your way through it. What the heck is going through your head as you're coming off turn 2?
Well, I saw the smoke, and I saw an opening low, and I went for it right from the beginning. When I saw the smoke, I went for it, and I was just hoping that no one slid down, and they never did. So it was clean right through it.
And
That's how it
found a
happened.
way.
Yeah.
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 So impressive stuff there, and great to see that '07 in victory lane. Dan was in chat throughout, just saying that I feel like something's coming, and then it happened, and he gave you the props there. But man, after what was it, 21 years pretty much of running this deal, give or take. And yeah, I share in what a lot of these guys were saying. Just thank you for what you did for the league, and it's great to see you stick around and race here. So the fact that you were able to end up in victory lane is pretty darn sweet. So I got to give you some kudos there.
Yeah, it all worked out pretty cool. But like Ricky was saying, it's a super speedway, and a lot of it is luck, and I got lucky at the end. But I have to say, through the whole race, it was a struggle because I was up in the pack. I was up in the lead pack earlier on, and then that first pit stop, I came out a little bit late, and I never caught up with them. And then the pack behind me caught up, and we were able to keep up. And it just kept going like that. Every pit stop, I kept falling back, falling back. But somehow I got a draft to stay in it, and then yeah, at the end you saw what happened. So yeah, it was kind of cool the way it worked out. But yeah, it was a lot of it was luck. But I busted my butt all night, so I'll take it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Super speedways definitely have a big luck factor, but hey, the driver still got to execute and do his thing, and you kept it clean, and you knew exactly where to go, and pulled it off. So got to
Yeah, it
give you
was
some
fun.
props there. And yeah,
It was
had some good fun. And boy, I think I hope Blake doesn't live in an apartment like me, because if so, then I feel like his neighbors are going to be just as annoyed as mine how much we were hooting and hollering at the finish of that one.
I have family that work, so they'll still be frustrated with me as if I had neighbors.
hey,
um,
what? It's all good.
Steve, I'll let you have the floor though here for whatever closing thoughts and shout outs you want to give out. You have earned it, not just for this win tonight, but just for everything that you have done for what you built with Hobo.
Well, I'd like to say hello to my brother Dan out there, aka Bino, for watching, cheering me on tonight. Can't wait for him to come back and race with us. But talking about the league and all that stuff, I know when I closed it out last year, I really didn't come on here and say much. I don't even think I came on here. Um, it was time. It was time for me, Andrew. 24 years and um, health issues and stuff like that, and I don't think I was putting my all into running the league, and it wasn't fair to the guys. So I knew it was time for me to step down. Uh, but seeing the way it's worked out, what they've done with AOR and Jeff, and these guys have turned this whole thing around. And I have to say, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is. And if anyone's listening to this, you're missing out on a good time. Come and join the league, because I'm glad these guys took it over and did what they did. Really, I mean, I can't say enough. So kudos to those guys, and it should be a good season going forward.
And I'm just honored to be a part of it. So thank you and thank those guys as well for bringing me back on board. Thank you for what you did, and it's just great to see you still racing out here. So I feel like in a way this win is you kind of getting your flowers finally for all the hard work that you put in, and best of luck to you and going forward with the season, and all the best to you going forward just in general. Hopefully this is not the last time that we talk to you here with a podium finish. But regardless though, man, just enjoy it, eat it up, and you've earned it. So thank you for everything that you do, and great win tonight.
Well, thanks for the flowers. I'll take them, and I'll talk to you soon.
Get them in water quick.
Later, guys.
Have a good night, man.
User disconnected from your channel.
Man, that's how flustered I am. I totally forgot that normally I have my co-host ask a question to the drivers as well, but I totally forgot to do that. Blake, I'm so sorry.
No, you're perfectly fine. My brain is just still lock-stunned at everything that we saw. I didn't have anything asked, maybe except for Rubino. Hey, did you by chance need to get a new pair of pants after you won?
I feel like Troy Donahue is probably the one that needs the pair of pants the most because he was the one that was right in the middle of that and still found his way through it. Holy cow! What a way to start the season. I mean, we ended last season with carnage. We start this season with some carnage, but man, it's just fun. It's good fun, and these guys are going at it. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that at Atlanta. It's going to be a big challenge for these guys. Cup physics on the open setup game track. Man, there's going to be a lot to behold this season. And I mean, good grief, we're going to road courses for the first time in hobo history, as far as I know, or at least in a dang long time. So, uh, man, it's good. It's going to be fun. I'm stoked. Blake, I hope I could get you back up here in the booth a few more times. But for right now, though, I will go ahead and get your closing thoughts on not even just the finish, but just everything that we got to see tonight as we start a brand new era of hobo racing.
Well, all I can simply say is that what I have to really applaud all the drivers on is the fact that they managed to do a very good job, not only taking good care of not wrecking each other when we had some engines expire or hit road mistakes, which, okay, minus the car getting flipped, was salvageable at the very least. Um, I remember saying right before we got to the white flag, excuse me, so we're probably going to see a really close finish. Guys, that's not what I had in mind. That's not what I had in mind at all. But
It worked out, though.
my goodness, like, I'm still flummoxed by it. I cannot believe what we just saw, but even better, it has a pretty good sense of humor about it. By far one of the wildest finishes that I've ever seen. And, like, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away that not only did we have overall a really good race, we did not have a lot of cautions, but at least right until literally the last half lap, we didn't have any crazy chaos come about. That was a very clean race up until the final half lap.
Yeah. Yep. And then it kind of got a little unglued. But man, that was cool. That was admittedly cool. And you know what? Actually, just as we were talking about all that, it would appear as though we do have the results that have now been posted. So let's take a look here, and then we'll wrap it up. No, that's the okay. Look at the individual. All right, everybody, hold on a moment. Okay, here we go. All right, we got it. All right. Official finishing results after all of the craziness that happened on that last lap there. And everything that even happened during that round of pit stops, man, that was all kinds of crazy. Steve Rubino wins it, led one single lap. Ricky Bombolo, Troy Donahue, your top three. Duke Sorensen will emerge with a fourth place finish, just ahead of Eddie Rayleigh in fifth. Gary Morin recovered to sixth after going around. So it's still going to be a great finish for that number 40. We'll see what he's able to do throughout the season. Greg Stenzo will finish 7th. Jeff Trowbridge, Herman Reese, Jeff Stakanis, your top 10. Mac Daddy, 11th. And came up just short there. Charlie Trusty, Wiley King, Monty Keller, KJ, Fugate, Jeff Bridigan, Randy Smith, Ken Hansen, Steve Grant, and Ryan Johnson, the full finishing results after all is said and done. Holy moly. We're just getting started, folks. We are just getting started. On that note, though, on behalf of my cohort here, Mr. Blake Warren, I will still always have that Charlie Fibrosis name in my head. And if you're still posting stuff on that YouTube channel, I would say go subscribe, everybody. Go subscribe to that YouTube channel. He's a great guy. He deserves it.
It's slow pickings in terms of what I'm doing. Much racing, or I'm dealing with other life stuff, but we're going to have a couple of videos out here fairly next week.
Good deal. I love it. And congrats to Steve Rubino. Earning his flowers tonight with a win. And congrats to everyone on starting off the season with quite the bang. We got a lot of good stuff coming forward here in 2026 here at AOR and the Hobo Racing Division. Until next week, for Hobo, we'll see you all at Atlanta. And for here on the channel, we will see you all here on Saturday night for the Sandbox Series for the NNSCRA. Great to be back. And great to see some awesome stuff. A good night to all. Take care.